The deepest point on our planet, a place untouched by sunlight for millions of years. Here in this absolute and utter darkness lies a strange and terrifying world that defies all our expectations. Terrifying, bizarre creatures that feed on death, thriving under a harsh hydrostatic pressure capable of crushing solid bones and structures in a matter of seconds. The shocking and strange paradox is that humans today know far more about the details of the dry moon's surface than they do about this dark, isolated ocean floor. A mysterious and terrifying ocean zone where the standard physical and chemical laws governing life on the surface completely vanish and fade away into nothingness. Prepare yourselves and keep your eyes fixed on the screen. We are now diving together into the deepest and most dangerous aquatic hell known to humanity on Earth. Our exploratory journey begins in the surface waters, where life seems normal and full of motion. But with every single meter we descend, everything gradually changes and our familiar world vanishes. Once we pass a depth of 200 meters, we leave behind the sunlight zone. Here, the direct influence of solar rays ends completely, and true darkness begins to enforce its absolute and freezing rule. These depths represent the absolute and hazardous limits a brave human can reach using highly advanced diving suits before the surrounding water pressure becomes instantly fatal, destructive, and crushing. Upon reaching a full depth of 1,000 meters, we officially enter the abyssal midnight zone. There it is 100% dark, with a harsh, biting cold that hovers near 0 degrees Celsius. At this terrifying depth, marine plants completely disappear due to the total absence of light. Consequently, creatures here rely on organic debris and waste falling from above as their sole, miserable food source. Here we encounter the first true nightmares of the deep, terrifying creatures that evolve bizarre shapes to survive this harsh environment, like these fully translucent fish that live and hunt without eyes. The atmospheric pressure here has multiplied dozens of times. The thick viewing windows of advanced exploration submarines are crafted from highly specialized materials to withstand this continuous crushing force. As we descend to a depth of 4,000 meters, we officially enter the abyssal zone. The pressure here reaches terrifying levels that no human can comprehend without thick, heavy armor. In this particular zone, we find the famous and terrifying viperfish. Its teeth are so long and needle-like that it cannot even close its mouth, using them as lethal daggers to impale its prey. But how do these fish locate one another or attract food in this pitch darkness? The answer lies in their magical biological ability to generate glowing neon lights right from their body cells. This mysterious glow is scientifically known as bioluminescence. It is a highly complex chemical reaction occurring inside the organism's cells to produce a cold light that emits zero heat. This aquatic world feels so alien and detached from our reality that top oceanographers compare diving into the Mariana Trench to a historic landing on a mysterious, unexplored planet. When we study bizarre creatures like the gulper eel, we are stunned by how its stomach and rubbery jaw expand to swallow prey twice its original size without any structural failure. Opportunities here are incredibly rare and precious. Dark months can pass without a single meal, which is why these creatures develop strict survival mechanisms to conserve every bit of energy. To grasp the immense scale of this abyss, if we flip Mount Everest, Earth's highest peak, into this trench, there would still be 2 kilometers of deep water left before reaching the absolute floor. The rare and expensive scientific expeditions attempting to reach the lower crust faced countless technical crises as equipment and fibers collapsed under the lethal weight of high pressure. Yet human ambition and innovation never stopped. Engineers successfully built unmanned robotic submersibles capable of enduring the pressure to capture high-definition images and data. What the cameras of these advanced robots discovered shocked the scientific community. Entire volcanic fields of hydrothermal vents spewing toxic, highly hazardous chemical gases. These active hydrothermal vents release boiling water reaching up to 400 degrees Celsius, yet specialized primitive bacteria in giant tube worms thrive and multiply around them. These unique organisms rely on an advanced chemosynthesis system instead of photosynthesis, which is the only biological pathway to survive in a space completely cut off from the sun. The biological anomalies do not stop there. Scientists discovered giant crustaceans and amphipods whose bodies are multiple times larger than their relatives, living in shallow surface waters. This rare scientific phenomenon is officially known as deep-sea gigantism, where certain organisms grow to unusual, massive sizes to endure the extreme cold and high pressure of the seabed. As the depth increases, water molecular density rises significantly, completely altering sound transmission. Acoustic waves and frequencies travel much faster in these highly pressurized environments. Scientists carefully study these extreme and isolated environments, not just to understand our planet, but to reveal how life could evolve on distant worlds like Jupiter's frozen moon, Europa. Every living organism discovered and filmed in these abyssal depths represents an entirely new page in the book of modern biology, as many of these discovered genes resemble nothing known on Earth's surface. When subjected to precise genetic analysis, scientists discover unique cellular adaptations that function specifically to protect DNA structures from tearing and degrading under the crushing impact of extreme pressure. Far away from the active fields of hydrothermal vents, the floor of the Mariana Trench suddenly transforms into a vast, desolate aquatic desert of absolute stillness, where movement vanishes for weeks. Here we observe the famous anglerfish and its clever tactics. It utilizes the bioluminescent lure hovering above its head, not just to attract hungry prey, but to locate a mate within this vast, dark void. Advanced human engineering stands puzzled and humbled before this immense hydrostatic weight. Designing a manned submersible to dive here requires armored walls crafted from incredibly thick, pure titanium. When robotic arms collect samples of this fine mud from the seabed, laboratory testing reveals it consists entirely of the structural remains of microscopic organisms that died and drifted down over millions of years. Even the sea cucumber in this environment differs completely from its surface relatives. It possesses a fully transparent body, allowing us to see its internal vital organs operating in perfect harmony to balance the extreme pressure. Geographically, the mysterious Mariana Trench lies in the western part of the Pacific Ocean, forming a deep, crescent-shaped geological depression that stretches across the seafloor for over 2,500 kilometers. This abyssal formation emerged as a direct result of the collision between massive tectonic plates of the Earth's crust, where the huge Pacific plate slowly slides and forces its way beneath the adjacent Mariana plate. This violent geological process is scientifically known as subduction, constantly dragging and displacing the Earth's crust downward into the mantle, creating these incredibly deep and perilous aquatic canyons. As for the ghost octopus, observed and filmed at unprecedented record depths, it completely lacks pigment cells in its skin because it simply has no need for camouflage in an environment permanently cloaked in pitch darkness. The challenges do not stop here. The extraordinarily high salinity and elevated levels of toxic heavy metals found in these waters demand highly evolved biological filtration systems within the creature's cells to ensure survival. The aquatic caves extending within the trench walls remain completely uncharted territories that have never been studied, harboring inside their dark corners ecosystems that might be entirely isolated from the open ocean. Deep ocean currents move with extreme slowness and heavy friction at these critical depths, to the extent that water molecules may take hundreds of years to complete a single hydraulic cycle within these enclosed canyons. Leaving scientific instruments and sensors on this seabed for several consecutive months allows scientists to record bizarre, fascinating sounds, such as frequencies from distant tectonic earthquakes and whale calls traveling through the deep water. These acoustic recordings and shocking data analyses prove that the deep trench is not a silent dead zone, as previously assumed, but is instead filled with physical noise and vibrations radiating from the Earth's core. This isolated, cold, and utterly dark world seems, in its terrifying details, designed to end life rather than support it, remaining a geological puzzle that challenges humanity's technological evolution. Astonishingly, the number of humans who have historically managed to reach this floor can be counted on one hand, a tiny figure far lower than the number of astronauts who have traveled into outer space. Now our submersibles begin their long, arduous ascent back to the surface, leaving the creatures of the dark to thrive in their eternal peace, far away from the noise of the modern outside world. We finally and safely return to the world of bright light and warm sun, carrying new secrets from this dark aquatic hell, which will remain an eternal symbol of nature's endless mysteries.